And it happens.
And I'm going to my room. But I am pissed off.
We have to let the queen know that her life is in danger. I say to Tarin before
oh,
he goes.
the runner should include that information at least.
Okay. Up at the keep.
Okay.
Within a few moments, the guards arrange for you guys to come into the keep. Into the meeting room. Armax is woken from bed to come down. And with her is Askew, the head of the guard, who was asleep as well.
Yes! Askew!
She's had a bad couple of days as well.
And the guards explain the situation to her. And she gets the story out of you guys. Does anybody lie to her or leave out anything that happened at the inn just now?
Was the skew on that list of names?
Yeah, it was Askew, Armax, the Lady Mayor, and who was the fourth one?
Tellish, the priest in the keep.
Tellish, that's right.
No, I don't leave anything out, but I'm going to be watching Askew.
Askew looks upset that this is happening in his town right under his nose.
And I'll just look at this guy and be like, okay, so you still insisting there's no Assassin's Guild?
That wasn't
really
Askew.
your official position?
That was Sangster. The one you spoke to earlier at the portcullis
Yeah.
was Sangster, who's lieutenant.
Yeah.
You've got Askew right now. And Askew says, well, what's our move? Have we confirmed that this is actually a magical weapon? And Armax nods and says, I've detected magic on it, and I'm sure their story will check out. At this point, one of the two guards chimes up. Says, we were coming back. They're priests. I forget his name. The one who came in on the ship. I saw him blowing the smoke outside of the inn. And it dissipated into the night air. Can't think how many lives he possibly saved. Skew looks at Armax and says, I'll gather Sangster, Grelius, some of the other men to go out in town. We'll double our patrol for the night. Is there any sign of who may have done this?
We have suspicions that some members of the town are members of an Assassin's Guild.
And to which Armax replies, and at this point I think the evidence is pretty clear that such a guild is operating in Garriton. And she says that to Askew, and he kind of wrinkles up his nose and says, given what we've seen, I agree.
And they haven't even seen the half-dozen dead assassins we left in the corpse of trees.
What was that gnome's name?
And apparently our fucking brig.
Rogan.
We've heard that Rogan is the one who was attempting to manipulate one of the boys at the inn, and we'd like to speak with him.
Askew nods to one of the guards and says to bring him in. And the guard leaves.
What was the guard's name?
The two guards didn't have names. They were just guards.
Did he have a half-orc name?
No. I'll give them names if you really want them to have names. Like,
No, that was
I have the name list here.
Well, we know they're not assassins because they don't have a name.
How many hats does he have?
7.
He's a very entertaining card.
Their names were Thol and Nelb.
Oh, so they do have half-orc names.
No, actually, that's a human and an elf name. Thol is a human and Nelb is an elf.
That's terrible.
Nelb? And
These people
Their
don't know
parents did not
shit
like
about
them at all.
elves.
First
Their
edition
parents don't.
names. Armax. Who all is here? Eldove, Khalil, Zook is here.
No, Armax, there's a normal
Orphan's
human
there.
name.
And Orphan's there. Armax starts asking questions about your experiences in the town, just to recant the various stories and the brushes you've had with this particular guild. And if you could name anybody else, it would be extremely helpful.
I'm gonna bring up my my suspicions about that secret path.
I'm going to talk about Captain Bazmar.
Armax inquires what sort of suspicions about the path.
I say, well, a path like that would need to be would be considered very valuable to a town with assassins in it, and yet the only people that you think know of it are you, the captain, the lady mayor, and who was the last person?
Askew looks very upset and looks down at Armax. Says, "You told this wizard about the secret passage." Armax admits it. She says, I didn't want to tell anybody, but we had some information about Holga, my student. We saw her safely out of the castle by using the passage. Then she looks back at you and says, but nobody in the keep has been killed. None of the assassins have come in. So clearly no one in the guild knows of the passage.
And I say, yet knowledge that passage would, like, they would have searched around the keep and they would have found it. And the fact that they haven't used it yet makes me think that it would be suspicious if one of them were to use it.
Askew stands up. Says, I'm going to wake the builders and have that passage bricked up right now. And he starts to leave, and Armax tries to stop him, but he storms out.
Seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
At this point, the guard comes back holding Rogan by the arm, and at a distance, the way that his hair is cut and the way that his facial features look, he could pass for a young, just dirty stable boy. But it's very clear to the four of you that he is a gnome. This is an
After
old...
hanging around Zook for so long.
Yeah, he looks to be a little older than Zook. But where Zook's features... Zook very much could not pass for a human around anybody who knows gnomes either. The only people who've ever mistaken him for a human are people who don't know anything about gnomes.
Yeah, they just think I'm a dwarf.
And he looks terrified. He looks friggin' awful. Like, they just dragged him in from the stables, and he looks dirty, and he smells like horse crap. And he looks up at Armax and says, Am I in trouble, milady? What has happened? Ding! What was that?
That's my headset.
The elevator.
Running on power.
The elevator just
That's
arrived.
his alarm spell going off.
Oh, someone's trying to sneak in his room.
Yeah.
Yep, there it goes again. So just...
Armax says, you can cut the act, Rogan. They know you're a gnome. At which point, Rogan kind of lowers his guard and looks back. Says, alright, what's this have to do with me?
I'm gonna take out the button,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna lay it on the table.
Okay, I don't think there was a table in here, was there?
Alright, I'm gonna take
I
out
thought
the
this was a
button, and I'm
meeting
gonna
room.
hold it in front of me.
This
I
is
thought this was a
this is an audience room. They sit up on a dais, and you stand in front of them and talk, basically.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Alright, I'll take out the button and hold it in front of me.
Rogan looks at it, looks back at you, says, never seen it before.
This is why we need the Zone of Truth. Actually, Armax knows the Zone of Truth, doesn't she?
Probably? Yes, she does, because she used it with Holga.
Yeah. So, Armax, could you break out the Zone of Truth again?
She nods, thinks given the circumstances. And she casts a spell. Wisdom 10 from everybody here.
Okay.
She casts a spell. And she shakes her head.
Orphan can lie.
She shakes her head and says, I don't think it helps.
Her dirt.
This gnome is a wily one, much more guarded than my student. Rogan just kind of smiles.
Khalil goes herpaderp.
Well, he could have succeeded if he had wanted. He could have failed if he wanted to prove his innocence.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
true.
bring it up. I'll say it's interesting to me that he resisted at all.
Who all made that Wiz 10 save? Not save, check.
Wiz 10? I failed.
Okay.
How about you, Nick?
Okay.
Rolled a 20.
Zook.
I heard rolling, so I rolled. And I rolled a 20.
You're fine. Zook.
Yes.
You notice that the people who were summoned to meet you in the audience room were the senior wizard and the captain of the guard.
Okay.
Who is missing that you would expect to be here would be the priest. Lady Mayor's advisor.
I ask out loud where her advisor is.
Where's Tellish?
Elish is his name.
Armax answers and says he said he had business at the church tonight that he had put off attending to for a long time. So I imagine he stayed there for the evening.
Church. We didn't know of any activities there tonight.
Eldove holds out his arm and goes, there you go. Because Telish was one of the people on that list.
And Rogan looks back up at Eldove, and well, he doesn't look up at Zook because he's about the same size as Zook.
The first
So-
gnome I think I've seen on this in this campaign.
Is it? Let me think. Yeah,
Lots of
probably.
dwarves.
First one I can remember.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
There's been like 2 dwarves, I think. There were lots
So-
of elves across the ocean.
Yeah. So
Rogan looks
part of
up,
me is like, this
says,
is my
"Oh."
first gnome I've seen in a while.
This is about Telish now. Can I go back to bed?
Oh no.
I like I imagine that's actually Eldo's where he's like, no.
Armax looks down at Rogan and says, "There's evidence that you're connected with some strange events, attacks, and deaths happening in town." He says, "And if you don't want to ask any questions, we could put you down in the hole with Gress until it loosens your tongue." To which Rogan looks very much frightened. He does not appreciate the threat of being put down in a dungeon with an ogre jailer. He looks back up at Eldove and says, "Alright, I've seen that button."
Oh?
He says, "I won it fair and square."
Why'd you lie about it?
This is because I didn't see any reason to tell the truth. Who cares if I've seen that button before?
So wait a second here. You're telling me you got dragged here by the captain of the guards, told that you were under investigation for a serious crime, asked if you had saw a button, and when you had legally seen that button before, you lied about it.
And he says, "I didn't say I'd legally seen it before."
Said you won the button?
So I go down to town sometimes, pretending to be stable boy. I set up a cup game for the neighborhood kids, and I always cheat so I win. So I won it off of Falpier from the inn. Said it was all he had, he didn't have any coin. So we played for it, and I won it. And that's the truth.
Oh, well, that's very convenient. We'll just go get Falpier. We'll put him under the zone of truth. He'll fail, of course, so he'll have to speak the truth, and we'll find out what happened.
Who was present when Falpier was questioned? Because that was last week, I don't greatly recall.
I think I was there.
Duke didn't exist.
Because, well, Orphan was there. That makes things easier.
Oh,
on
yeah,
me.
I was there, too.
Okay, well, if you all were there, that's not the story that Falpier gave you at all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Falpier
so, well,
said
yeah.
Falpier says he was paid for the button.
Yeah, we know. And
So-
I'll just say it out loud. We'll just go get Falpier. He'll tell us about how he paid for the button again, this time under the zone of truth. And then we'll ask you the same question again. Or you could just tell us now.
We don't have a lot of time to waste.
Rogan says, "Alright, go get the boy." Says, "We'll wait." Armax says, "We'll do no such thing." And she motions to the guard. "Put him in our blackest cell." And Rogan starts to protest when the guard grabs him. He says, "No, wait! And they start dragging him out of the room. He says, all right. I was told to get the button. I was told by... I just received notes. That's all I know."
How often do you receive the notes?
He says, "Not often. This one was important. It just said to get one of Abraham's buttons any way I could. And I have my ways." And he looks up at Armax. He says, "And that's the truth. I swear it."
Who's sending you these notes?
He says, "I don't know."
Why are you receiving these notes?
Armax says it's much the same story as it was with Holga.
So that's the truth. So if we cast the zone of truth again, you'll fail it so that you can tell us this, right?
Let me look up that spell to see if it has that, and they're immune to it for 24 hours clause.
Oh yeah, check to see if they're immune to it or if they're immune to the person casting it, because we have several people who can cast it.
No, I mean he's not immune to it. So she could try casting it again.
So you'll just fail it, And then we'll ask you the question again, and you'll tell us the truth, and then you won't have to go into the cell.
Armax does the incantation again. And this time she nods, as this time it took. He'll only be able to speak the truth. She says, and if he's evasive, so I have a mind to lock him up. And Rogan blurts out, she says, you don't have the authority to do that. It's only the captain or the Lady Mayor can do that. To which Armax responds, the captain and the Lady Mayor are not here. Then she looks over and says, alright, ask your questions.
Hey, you know that's the truth at least.
Who's sending you these letters?
Right.
And he gives you the same story that Holga gave you. Like at first, it just started with a note asking him to do simple things, and he would receive payment. He never met anybody face to face, and it was never anything horrible. Usually involved going out into town, pretending to be a stable boy from the keep, swindling someone out of a small item, a trinket here, some money there. Things he would do anyway. The first note he received was a blackmail letter, saying that if he didn't go along, they would blow his cover in town. They would reveal to people that he was a gnome, that he wasn't what people thought he was, and he would lose his cushy position here in the keep. But he's never killed anybody, and as far as he knows, nothing he's done has led to anybody's death.
I'll ask. Did you know about Lamy?
He shakes his head. Don't know anything about Glammy.
Did you know about Holga?
Shakes his head again.
Did you know anyone?
So I told you already, I never saw anybody face to face. He says, I'm still not even convinced that it's an assassin's guild that's doing all of this.
We have reason to believe that button you stole is connected to... We have reason to believe that button is connected to an assassination. It was meant to set someone up or to... Something.
Yeah, it was meant to frame Abraham, I get it. But it wasn't the button that killed the king. You can't prove that. So my conscience is clear.
What is it about this town where people get a fucking note and they automatically do it? What the fuck is this shit?
Well, in Rogan's case...
Send this letter to 10 people, otherwise you're going to die. Like,
even the
You have to
Orphan
join
fell
an
victim to
assassin's
it.
guild.
Yeah, even Orphan did it.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, in Rogan's case,
doesn't anyone
he's
just
saying...
say no.
He's saying it was blackmail. In Holga's case, it was greed.
So you were set up here long before the letters started showing up as the stable boy. How long have you been posing as the stable boy?
I don't know. About a year, maybe.
Well,
Showed
we
up,
did
said I was an
blackmail
orphan. Lady Mayor, her people took pity on me, gave me a place here.
Zook is just disgusted at the idea of a gnome who would shave his beard to act like a boy.
Wait, does Zook have a beard?
Yeah, Zook has a beard.
All right.
Zook has a it's a close-knit, gnomish beard that is shaved into swirly designs on his cheeks. I've said this before. He's very proud of his beard.
Does he twirl it on his index finger when he's lost
He
in
does have
thought?
a little bit. It's pretty closely cropped, but it is pointed at the end, so he does curl it when he's in thought.
Okay.
Ian, if we run a session of this at Dragon Con and I bring a balloon with some helium, will you?
Absolutely. If I get a balloon, I'll try to get a balloon one weekend and do some of my lines over the Skype with it.
So, Orphan said you had a question.
Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask him. How did you deliver the button? Who did you deliver it to?
Just shrugs. Says, nobody. I just left it where I was told.
Where were you told to leave it?
They said to leave it in the latrine, and I did.
The latrine here in the castle?
He nods. And Armax clarifies that one of the 4 towers was purposed into a latrine.
Okay, so one of the 4 towers, one of the secure areas of this place, because...
Yeah.
So-
there you-
We've proved that the Assassin's Guild is in this castle.
That's true.
It
So
could
that
it
makes
possibly be the guy who's missing for this little inquiry?
Oh no, it's absolutely him, Zook. We're piling up the evidence.
Oh no, Zook was being sarcastic when he said that. Hey.
You guys back at the ship said you were going to come up to the castle, yes?
Yeah, I wanted to take a short rest first, so.
The runner arrives, and you all are informed in the room of one of the guards. comes in. Says apparently there's been a to-do down at the Adric's Honor on the lake. Says the captain says he'll be here to meet with us shortly. Armex is all right.
Roll his eyes and sigh when he hears about a to-do at the ship.
Well, Khalil knows what's going on at the ship because he was there when Swent told you.
Oh, I was like, how much more bullshit is going to happen to this ship? Because if that's not, I'm going back to frickin' Kiska. Holy shit!
All right, well, you can roll up a new character one level lower than the lowest level
I know.
person.
Which is you, so you're going to start the lowest level conga line.
The race to the bottom.
Yep.
Me and Nick were joking that we were each going to die on subsequent sessions so that we'd keep going down in level and eventually be fighting goblins again.
Oh, you guys want to fight goblins? Well, we can do that. Yeah, we'll fight some goblins. Anyway, Armex says, should we wait for your captain to come?
We'll get as much information out of the way first.
She says, what should we do with the boy? I mean, the gnome.
I'd say throw him in your dungeon.
Yeah, we didn't make a deal with the gnome.
And Rogan starts to protest, and his protestations fade away as the guards drag him downstairs to the dungeon.
Good.
Duke spits on the ground.
Man should make a deal beforehand. That'll teach him.
Armex says, I admit I'm not sure what needs to be done. I don't know who to trust at this point.
I'll tell her. I don't think that's what was Sangstrom.
Sangster
who's in the room?
Right now it's just you guys and Armex.
No, but who was the guy who was in the room that seemed legitimately shocked?
Oh, Askew.
Hey, Askew was with you guys a moment ago. He said he was going to go wake the builder and take him downstairs and brick up the secret passage in the lab.
I'll tell Armax I have my suspicions about Sangster, and tell her about our encounter with Khalil and how he wouldn't let us in even after we'd been attacked. We tried to have a conversation with Rogan earlier, but Sangster blocked us.
Armex shakes her head and she says, I'm not sure that means anything. Sangster was given strict orders not to allow anyone in the keep. She said, if I may speak candidly, how do we know that nobody on your ship is part of this? How do you know none of your crew are in on it? This all started happening as soon as you came to town.
Well, we're from Kiska. How would... Are we Kiska? We're not from Kiska.
It's not us.
She looks at Eldove and says, he's
most
not.
Of the assassins. If you think it's me, after I found half the assassins in this freaking town, I mean...
Eldove has like a little scorecard. He's got those mark and tally marks down.
Yeah.
Oh, if only I had a banana.
Tarin and Arik.
Khalil is not happy right now.
You can't banana in. Eldove is an assassin.
Nobody right now has a banana, right? Everybody is bananaless.
I have banana.
Anyway.
How does
Khalil is
I kind of
not
want to get
happy.
out of this town at some point, so I probably will not banana.
Tarin and Khalil,
Unless
or not Khalil, Arik, return to the castle, and the guards show you into the meeting room.
I was actually going to do a ascending as soon as I got my spells back.
Okay, to who?
To Khalil. Because he's the least subtle, so he won't be able to lie if I give him information.
Saying what?
Queen in danger Sunday. Groundskeeper got onto ship restrained. Willing to sell out Grammy or die and speak with dead. Headed to keep ourselves. Respond 25 words or less.
Noted.
Counts as a word.
Just respond okay. He loves that.
Okay.
There you go. That's the response. Okay.
I will turn to the rest of the group and say, okay, that's what happened at the ship. Blah. That's the information he gave me. Blah. And
I wanna ask Armax, is anyone with the Lady Mayor right now?
She says she has a hunting entourage that she left with. She's in the woods east of here.
Seems safe.
Should be safe.
in any case,
this is a common occurrence, and these lands are free of goblinoids and whatnot down from the mountains.
well,
Do you think she's in danger?
I want to say I don't know if I'd be so quick to trust that the forests of this town are safe.
As this discussion is happening,
Khalil will pass on that information, then speak to Askew and say, this Glammy guy is the one that
I don't think Askew has returned yet.
Oh, okay.
Askew had left.
Yeah, he's still supposedly breaking up that entrance.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and go greet my wife who just got home.
All right.
This might be a good time if anybody needs to take like a 15-minute break, get some food or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, I might
Okay.
go do something up.
I think we should just go. Well, if everyone's leaving, I'll finish that thought later when everyone gets
I'm
back.
gonna put like Elizabeth on screen there. I'm gonna open up
Are you saying Nodal?
chat here.
I'm eating, but I can.
Sorcerer Network, Assassin Guild.
So we didn't get to Eric's long term. Or,
Well, Eric's not gonna survive the rest of this adventure, and neither is Khalil, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
Khalil has been in our game longer than Adric was. It's time for him to die, and for McDohl to get all salty and roll up a Birdman.
who we
If
kill
Khalil
on
does
principle.
die, I will roll up a Birdman. It'll happen.
Who we kill on principle.
And why is Eric going to die?
Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Okay.
Look, McDohls only have so much shelf life. That's all there is to it.
I'm
This
thinking
one's going bad.
They're
think
only
if
good
we
for
keep,
5 weeks.
If we keep testing his morality, McDohl's character's just gonna off himself.
Probably.
McDohl's character doesn't have any. Oh wait, that McDohl.
McDohl
So-
too.
Where do we leave off? What's happening here? At the
Well, I
at the
just
meeting?
got the message from Tarin, and I'd relate it to the rest of the party.
And so you told Armax that the queen is in danger.
Yes.
She starts grilling you for information about it. Like, what's going to happen? How is she in danger? Is there something we can do to prevent this?
All I can tell her are the words that Tarin gave me during the sending.
Do you respond back to her 25 words or less?
So you guys just going to wait for Tarin and Arik to show up?
Well, I
At
think
this
we should
point.
just go pick up Basmar.
Well, I don't want to be gone when Tarin and Arik get here.
Yeah, if you were to leave and go to the inn, you'd be gone. We'd have to keep splitting up. I'm trying to get everybody to know once
Which is
again.
part of why I burnt Ascending, to make sure you guys would know that I was coming to the keep.
Right.
We go grab a skew, right? And he gets together some guards that he trusts, and after Tarin comes, we go grab Basmar.
At the mention of Basmar, Armax says he's a smuggler. What evidence do we have that he's connected to any of these attacks?
I'll tell her about the poison that was found on the crossbow bolt in his room. I'm pretty sure I've been told about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tell her
She
that.
says, wait, how did you get into his room?
We know.
He said we opened the door and a crossbow bolt came out.
We were just trying to say hi, and crossbow bolt.
She says, was the
We
door
didn't-
not locked?
I'll fucking lie. I'll just say, yeah, it was open.
She says, and where is this poison now?
Who has it?
It's
Was
in the
it,
van. Oh, actually, Zook took it.
Yeah, Zook has it.
Zook's got it.
Duke's got it.
And does he present it?
Zook's here.
Can I lie? Can I say it's back? That it's
Yeah,
back
no,
at the
Zone
ship or
of Truth has been dismissed.
I had it. It's back at the ship in our alchemy lab.
Why are you lying?
Because I don't want to take my poison away.
She's
I'm gonna
alright.
make poison arrows with that shit.
Zook, you're gonna go to fucking jail.
All right, fine. I tell her I've got it.
She says, wait, is it back at the ship or do you have it?
I have it.
I'll say I reminded him to pick it up before we left.
After a few minutes, this Q comes back to the room. And he relays that he's woken up some builders and he's going to have the secret passage bricked up.
Okay, I just got a message from Captain Tarin. We need to bring Glammy here now. He's an accomplice as well.
And Armax adds to that, and they have evidence that Captain Basmar, our smuggler, is connected as well. It's my understanding that this guild has been using a particular kind of poison that was found in Basmar's room. At the mention of being given any kind of recourse to arrest Captain Basmar, Askew's face lights up.
Yay!
He says, I'll see to it immediately. And he turns and leaves the room again.
Oh man. think's coming up.
Wait, before he leaves, I'll just say, are you sure you don't want one of us to come with you? He may be an assassin.
Askew pats the broadsword that's hanging aside and says, I think I can handle the old captain.
I'll say, I hope that you do.
And he takes some guards with him and leaves the keep.
Good luck.
So Armax says, well, time may be short. We don't have time to send a message to anyone at the capital. We'd have to send a rider. It would take, if we rode hard, maybe a day and a half.
Seems reasonable. I hope she's not asking one of us to go.
She kind of is.
Has Tarin arrived yet?
No, not yet.
Eldove just says, that seems like a good idea. Who are you going to send?
And she said, well, I was hoping that you all would ride. You seem perfectly capable.
But what about the assassins remaining here?
She says, there's nothing we could do about now without more information. It seems that the big danger now is the life of the queen, who still doesn't have a name. She literally doesn't have a name in this module. She's just, whatever. It's pretty funny.
Queen Bufferface or
There's a table with the name of all of the friggin' guards with names like Yuck and Fug and Burke and... but not the,
I mean, okay,
not
so
the queen.
For what it's worth, that means the queen was spared having to get a name like that.
That is true.
That's true.
Are we metagaming now based on the queen not having a name?
Oh, yeah, the queen is not an assassin.
The queen is not an assassin.
A few minutes after this, some guards show Tarin and Arik
Yuckums.
into the meeting room.
The groundskeeper broke onto the ship, almost killed Balin. Arik here was able to deal with the poison. We have him... Espu took him out. We have him chained up to the mast. He's given us really two options, which is quite thoughtful of him for...
Armax
as
interrupts.
much as I'd like
Wait, slow down. You have the groundskeeper tried to break into your ship. Who is that?
Yes.
I'll...
Lothar is his name.
Try to keep up.
I mean, Armax's head is swimming with all this information that you're bringing her. This is, what grounds did he keep? Who is this man?
temple, I believe. Is that correct, Arik?
Mm-hmm.
There
Yes,
was
he's the groundskeeper of the church.
an operative of this guild was operating out of the church.
This is
yeah.
the one who... He's the set the trap that almost killed the priest, isn't he?
Yep.
I assume you told us about that.
And what information did you get out of this man? Where is he now?
He's on my ship. He's chained to the mast because I do not like managing prisoners. He basically gave us two options, which as I was saying, is quite thoughtful of such a callous assassin. He said either I could kill him and then we could speak with dead because he expects that I could kill him painlessly, whereas his group would make him suffer when they catch him for the failure for him to kill us, or we could bring Glammy to him and something would happen. I don't really know. I don't like listening to him.
Glammy, yes. Well,
I suggest bringing Glammy to him. It seems like the better of the two options.
I tend to agree.
Askew will be back here quickly with Glammy and
Oh,
Basmar.
and he also said that the assassin would kill the queen a week after the king was killed.
Yeah,
I believe I
we already
relayed
heard
that.
about
Yeah, you already relayed that to Khalil.
Yeah.
What is done between this time and the time when the prisoners are brought back to the keep?
Does she mention to Tarin that she wants someone to go ride to warn them?
Not yet, because she's being...
Okay.
The conversation now has moved to this guy who tried to break onto your ship, and you guys are uncovering even more
So
assassins.
how many days do we have until
2 days. It's
2
Friday
days?
right now.
It's pretty light in the day, right?
It's Friday night right now.
I got it. We got Dream. I'll just cast it on her, and she can go and talk to anyone she knows in the capital for 8 hours.
Can you
As soon as she tells me that this has to happen,
target her without without her?
I don't
She
need
has
to.
to know
I
her.
touch someone, and then they become the messenger.
Ah.
And the messenger needs to know them.
So yeah, all she has to do is say, "Hey, I know this person in the capital. I'm coming to them in a dream."
So you mentioned this out loud to
If she mentions
Armax?
that she needs to get a rider there, yeah, I'll tell her I have a way for her to magically communicate with anyone else in the same plane of existence for up to 8 hours.
What do you mean plane of existence? Do you need an onion?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Bring me an onion.
no onion.
Eldove cast minor illusion of an onion.
I can create a conduit through which certain magics will flow, and they'll create it. You'll be able to enter someone's mind through their dreams and create a dream which they will perfectly remember when they wake up. You'll have up to 8 hours to converse with them.
Okay, so you don't actually have to know the target. Oh, it says creature known to you as the target of the spell.
Yeah, so if you have a friend in the capital or somebody close to the queen...
So yeah, you need someone here in town who...
Yeah, even if I use someone else as a messenger, they can't. I'd need to know someone. Damn.
Yeah, it says a creature that is known to you as the target. You can send someone else as the messenger.
Target. Yeah, I thought it would be I thought it would work differently. My fault.
Wait, do I know anyone there? You said I had been in this part of the world.
You don't know the queen. Let's see who you would know. Hold on a second here. Look at your character sheet for a second.
Well, I mean, there's not going to be any information there, like, knows a person in this town. I don't even know what town it is.
No, they're talking about someone over in Caer Tyrell, and you've been to Caer Tyrell.
I knew whoever was,
just
dealing with audiences.
Who is your contact at Caer Tyrell that would have be known to the queen?
Because the spellcaster still has to be the one who knows them.
Oh, that's true.
I could make a scroll of it and give it to the mage.
That sounds like a good idea.
How long does it take to scribe the scroll?
And Armax confesses that she doesn't know the queen herself. And she's not sure...
Anyone else you can trust in the capital.
I haven't been to the capital in many years. With this Assassin's Guild, I wouldn't know who to trust. Since I fear that if I were to send such a message, all I would do would be to confirm to them that I'm a threat, that I know more than they think I know.
I would probably know the person who was setting up meetings with the, Remember that it was because it was that group of elves, so even though I didn't get through, I would still have spoken with them.
Oh, you can have any amount of noble contacts as you want in Caer Tyrell. Like if if somebody right in the queen's court, that would be fine with me.
All right, then I'll just say I know. On your list?
Is Dream actually on the sorcerer list? So if I made a scroll, you could cast it.
It is not.
Yeah, I mean it's on the wizard list, but if she's not willing to do anything, then we have to figure something else out.
Well, do we think that this master assassin that they referred to is already there, or do you think that it might still be here?
I think the best thing to do is to deal with the assassins here and then ride hard for Caer Tyrell if we don't think we've cleared it up.
How long were you saying it would take us to get there if we were going as fast as possible?
Day and a half if you rode hard with no rest.
What if we were being pulled by a pseudo-real horse-like creature?
Day and a half.
What if we could fly?
You couldn't fly the entire distance. You'd have to stop and rest. You could fly for 10 minutes and then rest for an hour, and it would only be like one of you going. And I'm not sure that you could fly faster than a horse could ride. I don't know how fast a horse.
Fly is pretty fast, but yeah.
Yeah, speed of 60, but a horse at full bore can probably do 60, don't you think? I don't have
the horse's base move is probably at least 60, yeah.
So.
Actually, I think the pseudo-real horse-like creature is faster than a horse. So I could go off ahead.
Nodal drops dead. Finally had enough of him.
Enough of this bullshit.
And before too much longer, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, you all are discussing your options. A guard comes into the room. This is Askew has returned. The captain has returned with the gimp. And he uses air quotes, and Captain Basmar. So should we have them brought in? Narmax looks to you for an answer.
This is the party room. Let's bring them.
Okay, and Glammy and Basmar are brought into the meeting room in chains, and Askew stands at the door. Basmar, they had to tackle him. He looks pretty beat up.
He looks beat up?
Nice.
Glammy looks like he came willingly. Basmar looks around the room and sees who all is in here and just makes mean faces at everybody.
I'll make one right back. F that
So,
guy.
so Glammy, I have a
Just
friend of yours on
grins.
my ship who would really love to speak to you right now.
He says, "Oh yeah, who's that?"
I don't think I have the character's name in my notes.
Lothar.
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 At that mention, like all the color drains out of his face. What does Lothar want with me?
I don't know, something about revenge or dying. Couldn't really make it out. He's kind of overly dramatic, don't you think?
I think
Armax
you mentioned something about torture.
tells to Glammy, says, "I think you owe an explanation. They know that you were a spy, working at the inn." And at this, you see Glammy kind of breaks, and he drops down to his knees, and he looks up at all of you, and especially the captain of the guard, Askew. And he says, "I beg, mercy, please. I'll tell everything I know, but mercy. I beg it of
Let's
you."
find out.
You need
Let's
to speak
find out
quickly
what
then.
you know first.
And he gives you the same story as you got from Holga and Rogan. A note appeared to him in his room, promising him great magical power if he would perform these small tasks. He tells you that Abraham has a secret passage underneath the inn that connects via ladder into each individual patron's room. He says it comes up under the bed. Carpet covers over a trap door, and the bed sits on top of it. But you can climb to the top of the ladder and hear perfectly well what's happening in the room.
Wait a second. Whose room was I in that had the bed that was shifted?
That was Wilfong,
One seeing again?
the gambler.
Okay. I bring that up. Wait, no, I don't want to bring that up in front of these people.
Yeah.
I will bring that up later. But I probably mentioned that because I told everyone everything I found when I was there.
Okay. And Glammy says that he discovered the secret passage in the basement. Abraham didn't know he knew about it. And he began using this passage when he knew Abraham wasn't there. And that's how he was able to gather information on everybody who came in through town to stay at the inn. And he said, "I would write these notes down and leave them at a place in town that they told me." He says, underneath a rock, just next to the statue of Cord, at the base of the hill that the keep sits on. He says, "I heard all of you in the room talking about how you were suspected Lothar, and your plan to go to the church tonight and take him. But that you'd be in your rooms at a specific time, and I wrote it all down. I didn't know what they would do. I didn't know it would go this far."
So why the long face when I mentioned Lothar?
He says, "It's my fault that he's in trouble with the guild. He was acting on information that turned out to be incorrect." He looked up and says, you fooled us all. Or
And
me
you
at
knew
least."
he was in the guild.
He nods. He says,
Who else is in
I
the guild?
He says, "I only learned it recently. I had to go warn him. I had to go tell him that you were coming for him."
How did you know he was in the guild?
He says, "You said his name. I was listening at the door when you were talking about..." And he points to Eldove and who was in there with him. I have
Tarin was in there.
the note here. Eldove and Tarin. He points at Eldove and Tarin. Says, "I heard the two of you talking about him. I knew that you were looking into the assassins. I figured you found him out."
Have you
It's-
ever been warned about seeking out other guild members? This seems unusual.
So I didn't know there was a guild until I heard all of you. Says, I realized that's all right. I'm a spy for this assassin's guild, but they're going to give me what they promised. And he looks at Armax and says, "And begging your pardon, lady, but they have been. They gave me the first invitation into the keep. They set up the meeting between you and I." And Armax finishes his thoughts. Says, "And they told you that I would grant you access to my spellbook, which I did, as I took pity on you." And Glammy just nods.
Man, she is having real bad day with students.
Yeah, no, right?
Should I go get Lothar from my ship and we can have a big friendly discussion?
Probably
I'm
a
gonna
good
say
idea.
this to Armax.
Wait, I want to ask Armax, who was it that told you that that you should take Glammy as a student?
She shakes her head. Glammy's not one of my students.
But but you didn't give him your spell access to your spell for nothing, right?
She says, I took pity on him. I met him in the keep. He was here on some errand from the inn. He told me the sad story about how he used to be an adventurer. And she's saying this very contemptuously. Like, she's doubting the story now. How he got into a fight, was badly wounded, lost access to his spell book, and has not been able to use his magic powers since.
Can I make an insight check on Armax here?
Sure.
Trying to see if she's telling the truth about this.
Sure. I think you already made an insight check on this before.
Maybe. This is a 21.
Yeah, and she's telling the truth.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, she seems very embarrassed by having been fooled by this particular gimp. We're calling him the gimp now, right? That's what we've gone there.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
And-
we've had. Go ahead.
And she also seems upset because this means that she too has been manipulated by these people.
And I'll say, but I don't understand how this happened, how this was manipulated if there was no manipulator. Why was Glammy in the keep at that day? Who set that up?
And Glamir tells you that the order came down for food for a banquet or some such that Abraham was going to provide, so Glammy came up to make those arrangements.
Who did the order come from?
Yeah, who put the order through?
I don't know,
Who
some
would normally
dignitary
do
who was
that?
in town.
Would it normally be Tellish?
No, Tellish doesn't have anything to do with the kitchens. They were putting on a feast for some traveling noble, and usually Abraham would make the provisions himself, but this particular point, the guild manipulated it, so Glammy was allowed into the keep instead.
Okay.
You guys want to go drag the cook out of the bed next?
Yes. No. It's a bad idea.
So, any word on Basma?
Oh yeah, Basmar's standing there. He's bloodied and bruised. He put up a good fight, but
He said
they
anything?
dragged him in. He said nothing.
He just looked pale at the mention of Lothar earlier.
So, what do you know about Lothar, Captain Douchebag?
Oh, man.
He looks over at Armax. Says, I'll answer to the Lady Mayor when she gets back.
There's not enough time for that.
I suggest that you work with these people for now. He has to make a DC 19 will save.
Or what?
Or the suggestion will mean for 8 hours he's going to do what I just told him.
And he passes.
Sorry, it's a 17.
Oh, he rolled a 19. DC 19? Really? You're a twink.
17, no, I misspoke. Well, that's the only one of those I got today.
He looks over at the captain. Says, alright. He says, let's talk frankly. You say you've got Lothar on your ship? He says, then you know what the guild will do to us is way worse than anything you can.
How do you know this if you've all just been manipulated through notes? Are there little notes with pictures of people being horribly... the level of information you have does not concretely match the communications channel.
Do you get out an onion to kind of illustrate your point?
No,
Yeah, see, like-
I figured I figured Tarin would be more like, no, I can imagine things that can't really exist in 3 dimensions. So I would suggest you start cooperating with me, or you will just understand what it's like to have your spleen pulled out 4th dimensionally.
Like, it sucks that I'm lawful good, because I just start fucking writing notes and spreading them across town.
And
Apparently
Basmar,
that's all it takes to
Basmar
fucking
responds
get people
to that.
do things.
This
He
is like a
says-
fucking Professor Layton town.
he says to Tarin, oh, I'm not a spy. I don't communicate with notes. I talk to the guildmaster. He looks over at Armax. As the orders come in, word comes down to me. I set it up. Go to the guildmaster, get the okay. We pick someone to send out. He looks over at the captain of the guard. Says, is that what you want to hear?
No, what we want to hear is who the guildmaster is.
He says, I'm sure you do.
Would you accept
So
the same?
tell us, or I'll break your fucking arm.
Would you
More to
accept
the
the same
point,
deal?
Once
that,
we kill the guildmaster, who's going to come after you?
He considers that for a moment. He says, I don't think you can kill the guildmaster.
Oh, obviously, if we don't know who he is.
Well, we just killed an entire field
Or
of your
she.
assassins.
He or she.
He looks over and says, I heard 2 of them escaped.
Running for their lives.
So
What
we kind of
about
got muddled there.
breathing up burned
who is
alive?
who is in charge of the interrogation right now? Like, are we just letting Eldove taunt this guy?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to intimidate him.
Okay, roll
I'm
it.
down.
I'm going to aid.
DC's 30.
Excuse me.
Excuse you, nothing. He's got the guildmaster of the Assassin's Guild behind him. He knows that nothing you guys can do is as bad
I
as
get
what
an
they can
18
do.
on helping.
Well,
you get
I can't.
advantage
I literally can't pass a 30.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
Yeah,
can't. You guys can't
Yeah.
intimidate him into telling you anything because he knows that if he tells you anything, he's going to be
ask-
tortured to death. Way worse than what you guys can do. I mean, you got that much from Lothar. You know that much already. You
So
got
Lothar made an interesting offer that if I kill him cleanly, his corpse would cooperate. What about you,
literally been
Basmir?
trying to say this for 5 minutes now.
Everybody keeps talking over
You should
Orphan.
speak
I
up.
I picture like Orphan's like way back in a corner of the room, just like whispering lightly, just holding up her finger. Like, actually, can I just? Is it okay if I just? Basmar shoots the idea down.
Fiendish rebuke.
He says, I'm a young man, wealthy, with prospects outside of the guild. He says, I've got no inclination to die here today.
No, then they can throw you in the cellar and you can rot there.
Basmar looks over at Armax. Says, yeah, you could. And then he looks over back at Askew. Says, but we all know the Lady Mayor will spring me once she gets home. We all know that I'm worth more to her dead than or alive than dead. I won't stay locked up for long.
It might
And-
be long enough for some sort of accident to happen. You know,
Askew
this place doesn't
bristles
really have the best
when he
security.
says that. When he says that the Lady Mayor will let him out, Askew bristles at it. At the
I
comment.
turn to Askew since I assume I noticed the person and go, why? Why would she let him out? We have him now.
He smuggles goods into town. Things that the keep can get that is free of the crippling taxes imposed on us. Taxes and tariffs imposed on us from Caer Tyrell. The Lady Mayor and the people here at the keep have profited greatly from Basmar's smuggling.
I give an exasperated sigh since it's the excuse I
So
keep carrying.
the profit clearly outweighs the king, and at this point, the queen's life, right?
Basmar chuckles and says, clearly.
So here's the thing, though. I mean, I wasn't there at the dinner, but didn't you guys all tell me that the Lady Mayor said she was going to leave Basmar out to dry?
No, she did not. What she said was they would give him...
Rein him in.
Yeah, they would rein him in and narrow his focus. Like, if they caught him... Because clearly he was bringing things in for the keep, but he was also bringing other things in, possibly for the guild
Oh,
or
I
for
see.
his own. And when they found out how dangerous some of these materials was, what the Lady Mayor said was, we'll rein him in, and if there's evidence of that happening again, then we will quit our dealings with him. She very
Well,
pointedly did not say we're done with him, we're hanging him out to dry.
Well, I don't know, Askew. I'd say running an assassin's guild and killing the king probably slips into that overreaching that might warrant an execution. I mean, it's security of the nation at stake in that. I mean, it's a shame that the Lady Mayor isn't here in time to deal with it, but...
And Askew, he has his hand on his sword, but it's sort of still in its sheath. And you see he's very tempted. But he says, we're no better than these people if we act outside of accordance of the law.
I can respect that.
I don't know, I think saving lives might be worth it. I mean, do you really want to have the life of the queen on your hands?